There's no way. Look, though, look. Players like this come around once, sometimes in our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been
once in a generation, certainly.
But no player in NBA, in WNBA history, has had to deal with this.
The one thing I just don't like, and I don't care what people say, I feel like there's a lot of hate on Caitlin Clark, and I think because she's white.
When NBA legends speak, the room goes quiet. Not because they must be heard, but because they've lived it all. Titles, turmoil, greatness up close. So when names like Magic, Barkley, and Gervin start weighing in on Caitlin Clark, we're not in casual territory anymore. This isn't PR fluff. These are raw, sometimes uncomfortable truths. And when legends don't just praise a rookie, but call out the lead by name, that's a seismic shift. These aren't bloggers or talking heads, these are the architects of the league. And now they're challenging it. What they're delivering isn't just admiration, it's pressure. Pressure on the WNBA, on the media, and on players who've made Clark a target instead of a teammate, because if the league ignores them, it risks losing the one thing it's craved for decades: real, lasting relevance.
Ain't nobody gonna watch basketball if she ain't playing.
Enter Jeff Teague, no media script, no filters, just pure, unvarnished truth. When asked about Caitlin Clark, he didn't hedge or dance around the topic. He delivered a gut punch. Ain't nobody going to watch basketball if she ain't playing. That one line crushed half the hot takes floating around. Teague wasn't speculating, he was stating what insiders already know. A former NBA All-Star just admitted Caitlin Clark is the reason people are watching, and he didn't say it too. Flatter her, he said it because he recognizes real star power. And Caitlin doesn't just boost viewership, she is the viewership.
She the best.
She's the best ever, bro. I don't care, bro. She's the best ever, bro.
So is she gonna be like LeBron with the stats?
Let's rewind that. That wasn't barbershop banter. That was a veteran of the game putting Caitlin Clark in GOAT discussions. Barely 2 years into her pro career. And this isn't just about numbers, it's about meaning. Teague sees where the game is headed. He's not predicting success. He's forecasting dominance banners, box scores, billion-dollar impact. And the weight of that, he wasn't joking. He believed it. Teague's not known for easy praise. This is the same guy who once dismissed Kawhi Leonard after guarding him. So when he calls Clark the LeBron of women's hoops, you listen, especially when the next voice is Michael Thompson.
When I was in Indy, I didn't care about that. The only thing I remember about Indy is when I was leaving Cambridge Arena in a loading dock, Caitlin Clark walked right by me, and I froze. I didn't say hello to her. How about that? My favorite basketball player outside of Clay was right there in front of me. There she was, and I said, no, I can't do it. But getting back to your question, you're right. That's what I remember most about Indiana. Caitlin Clark was right there next to me.
Michael Thompson didn't freeze in front of MJ. He didn't flinch around Magic. But Caitlin Clark walks by and he's speechless. That's not flattery. That's all. Michael Thompson has lived in NBA greatness, and when he says Caitlin is his favorite player, that's not hyperbole, it's validation. She's crossing boundaries, men's game, women's game, legends, fans, media. She's cutting through every wall. And just when it couldn't get bigger, one of the biggest names in history stepped up. Magic Johnson didn't just offer praise, he gave her a challenge.
They're going to be tested by these incredible women who've been in the league for a long time. Mm-hmm. Caitlin is the most popular WNBA player, but she's not the best at this time. Just like Larry and I were not the best when we entered the league. We became the best later on by our play. Caitlin still has to play great to become the best WNBA.
What Magic delivered wasn't hate. It was a high standard, and from a guy who carried a league. That's respect. He's not just saying Clark is popular. He's saying she's following the exact same trajectory as Burden himself. This isn't Caitlin Clark being judged on a new curve. She's being measured by greatness. And Magic didn't close the book, he opened it. He said, the stage is yours. Now go take the crown. But not every Hall of Famer played it cool. Reggie Miller. He went straight for the jugular.
Now, what I would love Caitlin to do is get up one time and then just slap the
Reggie didn't suggest patience. He implied payback. And no, he wasn't joking. He was furious. Not at Caitlin, but at what she's been subjected to. The cheap shots, the silent whistles, the league shrugging indifference when your league's hottest star is boosting ratings and selling out arenas. You protect her, period. And that hasn't happened. Reggie's not calling for chaos, he's demanding justice. And when Robert Horry, a 7-time NBA champ, chimed in, he made it even more blunt.
Shaq said he loved Caitlin Clark, but, quote, she needs to wait her turn. Do you agree with the idea that great players, no matter how great they are, need to wait their turn? This was from Ben.
Hey, first of all, let's start off with Shaq. You ain't wait your turn.
Horry didn't sidestep the issue. He obliterated it. When Shaq suggested Caitlin should wait her turn, Horry didn't play defense. He dropped a truth bomb, straight up. Caitlin doesn't owe anyone dues, not when she's already doing the heavy lifting, not when she's drawn more attention in months than some have in a decade. Horry knows what greatness looks like, and in Clark, he sees a player that doesn't need to wait. Then Paul Pierce took the baton and made it clear. This is bigger than basketball.
Players like this come around once, sometimes in our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been
once in a generation, certainly.
But no player in NBA, in WNBA history has had to deal with this, right?
What?
What she's dealing with.
What?
Like,
what is she dealing with?
Fouling from day one already, but she's been crowned. I mean, she's already, nobody, who was the face of the league in the first few years of the WNBA?
Pierce paused, stuttered, because he was searching for a comparison and couldn't find one. Caitlin Clark didn't just debut. She became the epicenter overnight. Endorsements, expectations, TV rights, scrutiny, it's all landed on her shoulders. And every veteran is watching. Pierce knows pressure, but this, he said even he didn't face anything like it. She's not just dealing with hype. She's carrying cultural weight trace narratives, jealousy, league silence. She's not perfect, but she's still standing. Then came KG, and when Kevin Garnett talks, he brings fire.
It's a privilege too, though. It's a privilege, though. It's a privilege to be in a position where others are hating on you. And when others are hating on you, that means you're doing something right. You know what I'm saying?
Garnett flipped the narrative. Most see the backlash and ask, why is this happening? KG's answer, good, because real hate only finds real threats. Caitlin isn't just another player, she's a disruptor. She's moving culture, money, and media. And that hate, it's proof it's working. KG knows what it means to carry a target. He didn't offer her pity. He gave her perspective. If they're not mad, you're not doing enough. But if you thought that was sharp, Rick Barry took it a step further. He didn't just call it hate. He called it shameful.
I think it's reprehensible what they're allowing some of these players to. Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time for doing that.
Rick Barry didn't sugarcoat. He shredded. He said what the league won't. You're letting cheap shots slide on the most valuable player in decades. This isn't about a tough screen, it's about intent. Caitlin Clark is being targeted because of who she is, not how she plays. And Barry wasn't asking for special treatment. He was demanding equal protection. In any other league, a star getting tackled off ball would trigger fines, ejections, statements. But here, shrugs, silence. Barry called it exactly what it is: disgraceful. And the biggest twist? Some of the very players cashing in on Caitlin's stardom are the ones trying to break her.
Think about it, y'all. I mean, we're dealing with imperfect people. I mean, and, when you look at it, they don't know the value that she's bringing for all of them. She bringing, they flying private planes now. They weren't flying private before she came. They on major networks now. They weren't doing that. See, she remind me of Tiger Woods for golf.
Yes.
He changed the paycheck.
And that's when George Gervin, the Iceman himself, stepped in and brought the heat. Calm, legendary, always collected. But this time, Gervin didn't stay chill. He lit it up. He didn't just address the hate, he pointed to the value. Caitlin Clark isn't just good, she's essential. The same players throwing elbows. They're also flying charter thanks to her. Better pay, bigger deals. That's Caitlin's ripple effect, and Gervin said it straight, she's doing more for this league than anyone in years.
Why ain't somebody, unions, making this an issue for these girls to say, like, man, we need another Caitlin Clark if we're going to be able to get all these benefits, because they didn't have it before she got into the league.
This wasn't just applause. This was a league-wide wake-up call. Caitlin Clark is the rising tide. She's the reason fans care, the reason cameras show up, the reason the money's getting better. And yet she's the one eating the hits. The math doesn't make sense, and Matt Barnes, he wasn't about to stay silent either. Always unfiltered. Always raw. Barnes said what too many are afraid to. The real problem isn't Caitlin Clark. The real problem is the people uncomfortable with her success, and he said it loud enough that nobody could pretend they didn't hear it.
I think she has the Tiger Woods effect. The way he put golf fans in a craze. Whether you're a golf fan or not, you tuned in and you wanted to learn about the game because he was so incredible. I think she has that effect.
That's high praise, but then Barnes said the part everyone else tiptoes around. No metaphors, no coded language, no polite avoidance, just truth. He didn't blink when he said it, either. While others tried to reframe the conversation with vague talk about locker room culture or rookie dues, Barnes cut through the noise. He spoke the quiet part out loud because someone had to.
One thing I just don't like, and I don't care what people say, I feel like there's a lot of hate on Caitlin Clark, and I think because she's white.
There it is. No dodging, no dancing around the real issue. Barnes laid it flat. A lot of this hate is racial, and he's not wrong. Caitlin Clark isn't the first flashy guard, or the first to score big with swagger, but she is the first white woman the WNBA has promoted as the face of the league from day one, and for some, that's unsettling. Barnes wasn't stirring the pot. He was naming what many whisper. This isn't just about toughness or paying dues, it's about discomfort. With who now holds the torch, and the truth, it doesn't need defending.
So what are they doing now? They're running. You see creativity, you see originality, you see all that stuff in transition now because the floor is spread. As soon as they get the ball, make a miss, they are out, man. They are out filling the lanes, running their spots, getting to their spot. Why? Because they know Caitlin gonna give it up. That's the beauty that we're watching in basketball right now with Caitlin Clark.
Then came Isaiah Thomas, and he wasn't whispering either. Zeke doesn't chase headlines, he studies the game, and when he broke down Caitlin Clark's impact, he didn't focus on her fame or controversy. He focused on her basketball IQ. Clark isn't just scoring, she's changing how defenses react, how teammates move, how the floor is spaced. She's shifting the pace of the WNBA as a rookie, and when one of the smartest, most selfless point guards in NBA history calls her the engine of the game, that's not hype, it's pure validation. And right after that, Patrick Beverley kept it short but said it all.